Go ahead. Sorry.
It started.
We're here at the National Sports Center in Blaine, Minnesota for the 2022 USAFL Central Regional Championships. This game between the Minnesota Freeze and the Houston Lonestars / Oklahoma Buffaloes, and we are coming to you now just underway in this match as we come back into the middle of the ground, and Minnesota has kicked the first goal of the game, so they lead 6-0. Ball back in the middle of the ground, we're underway once again, and Minnesota in the blue jumpers heading from right to left. Knocked forward by the Lone Stars, and then that one is soccered on. Ball goes to ground, and here back the other way comes Minnesota as the number 7 David Walsh sends that one up forward. Ball goes to ground, and here comes Houston back the other way. This is Nick Plaisance. They call him Beardy because he is a very hairy man. Handballs it into the middle. Looking for the 36 in there in Nicholas Jones. Jones sends that one back the other way, and it's marked by Ryan McLuhan, the man they call Hanga. So McLuhan will go back. He's about 45 meters out. McLuhan sends that one on the way. It's going to die in the square. It goes clean bowls, about 3 players in front. Big scramble if he can just get it to the boot. And goal umpire watching, and the ball is tied up about literally 2.5 meters from the line. So they'll move it back out. Minnesota with a goal in the bank already, trying to look for another one. McLuhan knocks it down. Bashant is in there, number 42 for Minnesota. And the ball gets whipped out and back the other way, but it gets picked off. The handball back to 16, which is Tiger Werner. And Werner sends that one on the way, and it is dead center perfect. So Minnesota has come out shooting, and they have extended their lead. Minnesota 2 straight 12. Houston no score. Houston coming off of the game earlier where they played a combination of the St. Louis Blues and the Denver Bulldogs. And winning 35-23. So this is the 2 seed in Pool B playing the 1 seed. And if the Lone Stars should happen to upset Minnesota, and they would need a great deal of work to do that, then they would lock up the group in a spot in the grand final later. But that's a long, long way for now. There's a big old bomb looking again for McLuhan. And the ball comes back out. Werner, he dropped the foot, ain't no call. And the ball's loose up in the pocket. That one is chipped in short. It's going to skittle across the face. In fact, it has gone out of the full first. So it'll be a free kick with Houston up 12-0. I'm sorry, Minnesota up 12-0. Absolutely beautiful day at the National Sports Complex in Blaine, Minnesota. Just some clouds. The high is expected to be about 85 degrees. There is a wind, as you can probably tell, heading from right to left. And the primary school end is going to be the scoring side, I think, on this field, as opposed to the other side, which is the, we're calling that the brew pub end. Because back there is a brew pub where they have liquid refreshments and stuff. As the ball comes back into play up on the far side, and again we'll go out of bounds. Minnesota, as we mentioned, this is the first time that we've had a tournament here in Minnesota, regionals or nationals or anything of that ilk. And Minnesota founded in 2003 and won the Division II championship nationally in 2007, 2012, and 2018. This one gets sent on the wind and goes sailing away, a la Christopher Cross, and the ball will go out for a free kick for the Lone Stars. We mentioned the Lone Stars, we're calling them that because they are wearing the Houston Lone Stars jumpers. The Oklahoma Buffaloes are the flagship club of this side. That one goes out on the far side. Ball goes to ground. Adams sends that one forward, ricochets off the legs of the Lone Star player, and then whipped forward once again. It'll roll, it'll skip, it'll get cut off. Oh, a great don't argue thrown in there by Caleb West, as West sends that one in up on the far side, and back the other way it comes. It'll roll, it'll skip, and it's in the pocket, looking in the middle for McLuhan, and it overkicked him and goes through for behind. The first blemish of the game for the Freeze. They go on to 2-1-13. Houston, no score. 6 teams in this men's competition in 2 pools. We mentioned St. Louis and Denver. They'll be playing a little bit later on. They'll play Minnesota in the final game of this grouping. Out to the near side, picked up by the 39 in there, which is Justin Bye. And he was taken down by somebody who said bye, bye, bye. And the ball pops into the hands of the 14, who is Ian Robertson. Robertson sends that one on the way. And it has gone through for a mark. Or for a goal. It has gone through for a goal. Had my head down trying to find the player.
That's a mark.
It is a mark, thank you. And now this will be sent up on the way. And it's for a behind. It's hard when you've got to keep going back down to find the number. So that's a behind. That takes them on to 2-2-14.
Minnesota.
Yep, and Houston, no score. So free kick for the Lone Stars, or a kick in for the Lone Stars, off the, wow, and right into the arms. They're going to play on very quickly. Ball goes out to the far side, and we'll pick up who took that mark almost in self-defense. As the ball gets whipped away forward, that was Josh Friday, who does his best marking on Saturday. Ball goes to ground, picked up by C.J. Adams. He sends that one in, and McLuhan, that one, I may have gone out on the full first. It did go off, yeah, in fact, it did go out on the full. C.J. Adams, the son, of course, of Chris Adams, longtime stalwart of the USAFL. Ball goes to ground. Of course, C.J., one of the Saturday morning footy graduates with the Washington Junior Football Club, an associate part of the DC Eagles for many years. And it'll be a free kick to the Lone Stars. The Lone Stars, founded in 2010, Division III champions in 2013. Out to the near side, this one will go high up in the air. Friday was there, but it's settled under by Robertson. Robertson has that one go. It's a wounded duck of a ball, but it bounces into the hands of a Freeze player who sends that one on the way, and he slots it through for a behind. So Minnesota goes to 2-3-15. No score for Houston. We're just keeping an eye there on the big number 5, who is Dan Stevens, who is a veteran of this Minnesota team. Of course, the Freeze women will be playing a part of the women's game, which will be a little bit later on. Sent that one up on the far side now. Marked. Sends that one up high, and again marked in the middle there by David Walsh. Walsh will go back and have a look. He stands about 50 meters out. Walsh sets that one on the right foot, sends it into the wind. It's drifting to the left and goes through for another behind, their 4th of the stanza. Now either they missed one or I missed one. There, the scoreboard says 2-3-15. We'll double check that. I could have sworn they've got 4 behinds. Now they come out to the near side. Friday going back and makes an intercept mark. Friday sends that one on the right. That one's going to carry a long way. Punch down in front, McLuhan. Handballs it off to a wide open Tiger Werner, and Werner collects his 2nd major score, and Minnesota pours it on a little bit more. They go on unofficially right now to 4, I'm sorry, we'll check that again. That's 3-3-21. No score for Nashville, and again, we'll double check that at halftime. Now, there was talk in the first game that we did earlier that they did have a water break at about the 10-minute mark, and in fact, that is what we're going to do. So We're going to get everybody a little bit of H2O. We're going to step aside and come right back with the continuation of this one. You're watching the 2022 USAFL Central Regional Championships here on USAFL.com. Back here for the continuation of the first half here at the 2022 USAFL Central Regional Championships here at the NSC in Blaine, Minnesota. Brian Barish here with you. We're underway once again. Minnesota leading 21-0. And a big takedown of a Minnesota player, and not marked because it didn't go far enough. Back the other way comes 38, which is Jesse Donahue. And we have a push in the back. It'll be a free kick. So Houston, this will be their first entry inside 50 in some time. And the 36 is Nick Jones. And it's picked off, and back the other way we come. Weaver sends that one in, and marked nicely on a line there by Steve Fashant, who sends that one forward. Now back the other way, here come the Lone Stars, and the person is the Paul Baldwin, which is funny because he certainly is not with all that mop of hair on top of his head. Weaver handballs it across looking for Mergen, and Mergen, he looked like a drunk swan on that one and still managed to get the ball away. Sent back in the other direction now and out in the middle of the ground right in front of us. Two players there. He gets a shepherd and sends that one forward into the left half forward flank. Warner waits, now throws that one onto the right into the top of the key, and it's juggled off the chest and marked on the second bite of the Terry there by 24 for Houston, who we don't have. That might be Teddy Mizia, but we're not sure about that. And up on the far side now, here comes Minnesota. Here they come, all by himself. Breaks away from one tackle, but says hello to Wilbur Post. I'm Mr. Ed. And it's through for a behind. That takes Minnesota on to 3-4-22. They're just looking at the scoreboard and making sure that they got the message. So 3-4-22 to no score. That one is sent up high in the air over to get it, and that one is taken down, and then squaring that one up, sending that one in across the face, but a nice mark taken by McLuhan. Brian McLuhan, they call him Hanga. He's been around he's been around longer than I have, going all the way back to probably about the foundation of the club. And off of 3 steps, he sends that one in off on the way off an odd angle. And it is through for a behind. 3-5-23 Minnesota, no score Houston. McLuhan was best and fairest, or the MVP, winning the Jeff Can medal and the grand final of Division II, the year that Minnesota defeated Portland in a very contested, well-contested match on both sides when we were in Racine, Wisconsin. That one is sent up high in the air, drifting across the face, and again through. So Minnesota standing at the crap table and rolling fiercely, but only rolling snake eyes at the moment. And they go on to 3-6-24. It is 4 straight kicks separating the sides. Out to the near side they come. Tipped off the top, ball goes to ground, and to shove the player out of the way. Finally, he soccers that one on into the middle of the ground now, and it's picked up by the Lone Stars and sent further afield. Ball goes to ground, pops high up in the air. Weaver spins away, now sends that one back the other direction. Ball goes to ground. Just got his foot to the football.
Jesse back! Jesse back! Nobody.
Sends that one across in the middle. Big long handball back the other way as throwing his shoulder in was Sheldon Houston. And that one is sent on the way, and Houston's going to get on the board. Through for a behind, and Houston's first point. They trail by 23 points. Well, if that's the way, if he does more like that, then more than Houston will just have a problem. What a big shepherd put in there. And that at least gave them their first opportunity of the game. Ball goes up on the far side now, play action, and picked up again. Balding makes a player miss, now sends that one in towards the sticks, and it's marked. So Minnesota have a chance to shake the old Etch-a-Sketch and draw up something new. Hugs the boundary line like a teddy bear. Werner couldn't handle it. The ball goes down and we'll have a free kick as the player was tackled and then claimed holding the ball. Warner sends that one across, going to be marked by the 22, who is Zach Weaver. Are you ready, Weaver? Sends that one in. McLuhan had it just hop in front of him. 3 Lone Stars there, and finally it's Dustin Brazel, the old Buffalo, who's able to get to it. Kicked out to the near side, and the ball will roll out of bounds, just like a puppy looking for a belly rub, and we'll have a boundary throw in, just right where the pocket begins on the left side. 24-1 the score towards the end of this first half. Ball batted backwards, slapped forward by Houston. And Mergen sends that one back. Robertson now chips that one across, and the mark is taken up high by the old 29 there for Minnesota, who is Bailey Callender. Callender checks his schedule and then sends that one in. Picked up by Houston. Again, I believe that was Balding. Spinning, looking for 16 up on the far side. And now Minnesota able to steal it away. Fashant backpedals, steps up, launches one from 50 meters. And that one's gone across for another behind. 3-7-25, back to 4 straight kicks. The margin. Nashville 1 behind. As we mentioned, or rather Houston 1 behind. They wear similar, and I was staring at the Nashville player over here. So Houston winning earlier, and Minnesota, as Balding rises high to take the mark. And he's a little ginger on one of his feet. Out to the near side looking is Power Cells, I believe they're at number 8.
Goal square, sideline.
Looking for the boundary line, sends that one down the pike, marked by Robertson. Robertson will send that one inboard. Ball goes to ground, comes out into the middle, goes to ground again, picked up by the freeze. He's slung right round, baby like a record. Long handball back, Robertson again. Dials up in the middle of the ground where it's marked by Fashant. Fashant will give a little cheeky handball. Striding that one forward is Callender. Sending that one in. Ball stings in front, and we have a whistle, and the umpire said you got legged and you know how to use them. It'll be a free kick to Houston. One goes out to the left side now, and ball goes to ground as Balding couldn't claim it cleanly. C.J. Adams with a big right foot. McLuhan tracking it back, but it goes through again. And Minnesota, it will be in search of a compass or some other sort of navigational device. That is their 11th scoring shot and their 8th wayward one. They go on the 3-8-26. The lead is 25 points. Houston 1 behind. As they have to go into the swamps of Blaine, Minnesota to pick that one. Out to the near side. And trailing away there as Brendan Maloney couldn't read that one in the wind well enough, and the ball goes out of bounds once again in front of Jonathan Durant for Minnesota. This is Houston's last pool game. Remember that the winners of each group will play for first place, runners-up will play for third, and the third-place teams will play for fifth place, as they'll play cross-pool matches. They look back for Fashant. Little stab kick right to McLuhan. And McLuhan just drops it onto his right foot and lets momentum do the rest. That's his second and Minnesota's fourth. They go on the 4-8-32. Houston 1 behind. Well, Minnesota, as we mentioned, there have been a perennial contender in men's Division II. They played up in Division I back in 2019 and then dropped down to Division III. They actually brought a partial side. They were topped up by players from the Kansas City Power. Ball goes to ground and picked up once again off the tip. Ball goes to the near side. It's going to be picked up by the Freeze in the personage of Donahue. Donahue sends that one into McLuhan, and that's going to become a popular theme as Ryan McLuhan has his third, and Minnesota has their fifth. They go to 5-8-38. Nashville one behind, and Nashville's going to have to call Curad and figure out how to stop this bleeding. And there is, I believe, the halftime whistle. All one-way traffic for the Freeze in the first 20 minutes here at home. The score, it's the Minnesota Freeze 5-8-38. The Houston Lone Stars, Oklahoma Buffaloes one behind. We're going to take a break and come right back with the second half of this one. You're watching the 2022 USAFL Central Regional Championships here on USAFL.com. Back here for the second half of this one between the Minnesota Freeze and the Nashville Kangaroos. The Freeze are up by the score of 30. Well, they fixed the score now. It's 39-1. So it looks like I was right. They did miss a behind in that first half. So 39-1 is the score. Now the Freeze will be kicking to, as we say, the Bob Seeger end because they are kicking against the wind. It'll only be a matter of time before that joke gets old. But they've been much the best so far. The question is, what can Houston do with the little 1-2 action? They give the ball, sending that one forward. It's going to be chopped off at the pass by the Lone Stars. Lone Stars were saying that they were able to get a rugby player from South Africa. And they come out to the near side as that one gets knocked down in front. And that was Brent Harrington there from Oklahoma who was able to palm the ball down. And here is Warner who takes the mark. Andrew Warner has 2 goals. And Ryan McLuhan, who's been the main target for many years, has 3. Fashawn knocks it onto himself. Here comes another score, but that one is taken off to the side. So 5-10-40 the score. The lead is 39 points. Houston one behind. Ball will come back in the play up the far side. Ball gets knocked down and it'll be a free kick to Tiger Warner. His real name is Andrew. Nobody really calls him that, not on the footy field anyway. He played in Western Australia for a time. Played a seminal part of a number of revolutions, including the one that went to 2011. Almost taken by Fashawn. Ball goes to ground. McLuhan stabs that one across the face. Kept in nicely. Spinning around and throwing that one onto the left. Trying to center again. They're just weaving and waving back and front. Then finally cleared out of there by the 36, who is, I can't tell straight away, but now up on the far side. And the ball's gone out of bounds. And it'll be a boundary throw-in. (40-1) the score. Minnesota the lead, and the Freeze trying to. We're just underway in the second half, but just trying to hang on. And if they do so, then they'll take on an 0-1 St. Louis side with the grand final in their sights. And Minnesota looking for their first Division I regional championship as the ball goes out of bounds once again. They have. Just trying to think back at each of the Central Regionals the last couple of years. I know that they had, they actually had, they played the role of spoiler at the Western Regionals. They were combined with, actually no, they were playing in their own right. They had managed to spoil Sacramento from winning the Western Regional in 2017. Warner trying to get it out the back, tackled in front. He's going to set up, little chip over the top, and Houston finally gets a just reward as the number 11 in there, and unfortunately we don't know who that young man is, but he has put Houston's first major score up on the scoreboard. They go on the 1-1-7, and the margin back to 33 points, 5-10-40. Yeah, don't see a number 11 on here, unfortunately. So that goal will go uncredited for now. But indeed, we've got back to 33 points. Ball comes back in the air once again, and the ruck in there, number 63 for Minnesota. Ben Stevens. Ball goes up on the far side now. And the ball goes to the ground. There's like 3 Lone Stars right there, and Minnesota ends up with it. Big takedown there. The ball's going to come from that. And that was Ian Curry, number 20. Got to be sent that one forward for Minnesota. Nice mark by Fashant. He wasn't Andrew Walker level, but he was about halfway there. And in the center of the ground, they find the 29 and Dylan Callender. Callender looks around, now sends that one goalward. McLuhan started to rise and thought better of it. Fashant cleans up the garbage, turns that one onto the left, and marks over the shoulder. No, he's told to play on. Return the sender off the handball. Spun around, looking in the middle for Adams. CJ Adams across the face. No, it's there. Oh, what a goal by CJ Adams, who was the right player on the spot there when Chris Bergiatis was able to find him coming across. And that takes Minnesota on, as that's their 6th goal. They go to 6-10-46. 1-1-7 for Houston. It's a 39-point difference. We mentioned Chris Adams before. CJ Adams played in DC and began playing as a teenager. He goes to school, plays rugby at the University of Minnesota, which is why he's based here for the Freeze. And had a brilliant grand final in 2018 and kicked a fantastic goal that helped lead the Freeze to victory over the Steelheads on that cold day in Racine, Wisconsin. Here come the Freeze again as the ball gets batted down. 2 hops in, spun around, looking for the 13 there, and back the other way. Looking up high, stuff in the air, Callender, but 3 players there wearing red jumpers. CJ Adams sends that one in, looking for Robertson, but no. Over to get it there is Harrington for Houston. And Robertson will watch the ball go out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw in once again. Spinning back in the play. Ball is paddled down, and that one, Robertson may have had a deflection, doesn't matter, and that one is fisted out to the far side. All blue jumpers there, but now here comes a speedy run there from Raul Mason from Houston, and he's able to affect the play from the far side still. Ball goes to ground, and that one is knocked free, and Warner gets taken down backwards, and he's a little woozy coming up, but he'll be okay. And after all that, it'll be a free kick. It will go the way of the Lone Stars. We're able to get things together to get 1 goal at the very least, and I think they're waiting. It looks like they're checking on. No, it is a free kick to Jonathan Mills, the umpire, has things on the up and up. And so Tiger Warner walking forward. Did they pay a 50? Or is that everybody just going back? I heard somebody say 50, or that might have been an appeal that will go back. Warner sends it forward at the end of all of that. It dies in front of a couple of Freeze players, and that one is sent out the other way. Here's a wide open shot for a goal, and Chris Bergiatis adds Minnesota's 7th. 7-10-52 for Minnesota. 1 point for Houston. At this point, it's all padding on the percent side. In the unlikely event, or at least on paper, that St. Louis comes and defeats Minnesota in the third game, which you'll also see here on USAFL.com. And don't forget, if you want to find out more about the sport of Australian rules football, you can go to USAFL.com. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/USAFL. On Twitter and Instagram at USAFL1997. The ball has been on the other side of the ground so much. The boundary umpires on this side really haven't been troubled all that much. They are spectators just like you and me. Free kick, or boundary throw-in rather, coming in. And we're going to do that again. And we're going to actually have a drinks break, and we'll do that again. So we're going to step aside and come right back. The score is Minnesota 52, Houston 7. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 USAFL Central Regionals here on USAFL.com. Underway again here in the second half. Minnesota leading 52-7. And trying to see out the last 10 or so minutes of this match and get ready for a battle with the St. Louis Blues / Denver Bulldogs. A win there, as we said, the winner of each of the two pools, and this is Pool B, the winner of each of the two pools will play in the grand final. We have a whistle, and the ball will go up on that far side as Josh Friday took the nice mark. Friday steps forward, ski jumps that ball a bit. The crowd forms off the chest of one of the Freeze players, but picked up nicely, and here they come inside 50 once again, but picked off again. I believe that may have been 26 in Harrington. And he sends it back from whence it came over the head of Weaver, who's on his horse. One-on-one contest now. They go in, and Mark, and the whistle blows. That'll be a free kick to the Freeze. Weaver looks to switch the field, and calling for it is Callender, who takes the mark. Callender, this is going to be close, but Robertson comes over and takes the mark about 2 feet from the boundary line. Now sends that one downfield, and they are paying it downfield.
Yeah, he paid it. Yeah, we're good, wait.
Here right in front of us, telling 19 is Steve Raspel, both players from Oklahoma, that wasn't in fact the right call. And that one is sent in once again. Ball goes to the ground, it bounces free, and trying to clear that out the back was Mahoney. Great job by the ball goes out of bounds once again. That was a great job, by the way, by our cameraman Tyrell to keep an eye on it. I was like, I was looking downfield, but no, that was absolutely the right call right there. We saw it there on our cameras right in front of us. That's a goal. And so a goal has been scored, and that takes them on to 8-10-58. And now the margin just bolstering a bit more for the Freeze. Minnesota coming off of a win at home a few weeks ago against Des Moines. The Roosters playing across the way over there. They're playing the Austin Crows. Ball goes high in the air, gets knocked down. Sent that one forward. Nice mark. Fingertip mark taken by Dan Stevens. Plays on quickly looking for McLuhan. Good spoil out the back. Everybody Callender trying to find some availability there. There's a handball for Stevens, and Stevens makes no mistake. 2 for Stevens, 9 for the Freeze, 9-10-64. 1-1-7 for Houston. The highest score of the regional series so far in a single game was Philadelphia, who hung 80 points on Columbus, defeating them 80-6. And if it wasn't for a 50-meter penalty that was paid to Clyde Simpson that gave the Cats their only score of the game, that would have been really a perfect game for the Hawks. As They ended up finishing second. And the trailing umpire, Jonathan Mills, calling too many in the square for Houston. So they continue to self-inflict. They come out to the near side looking for Callender, who plays on quick. Adams has it. Great job to get by Harrington. Sends that one on to the right. It's going to go across the face. It's a centering ball. And it's marked again by Dan Stevens. Check that. That's Stevens in front of us. We'll see who this is when he turns around. That's number 9, I think. And that is Bergiatis, who has one of Minnesota's 9 goals. He has 1. Stevens has 2. Werner, I think, has 3. And McLuhan has 3. Now Bergiatis has 2. 10-10-70, Minnesota. 1-1-7, Houston. To mention Houston playing with the Oklahoma Buffaloes, and Oklahoma traces their history back to 2010. They were the Tulsa Buffaloes originally, and they actually had players coming from as far away as Oklahoma City, to the point where they formed their own team as the Oklahoma City Flyers. That lasted 2 seasons. It was an amicable expansion. And once again, too many in the square for Houston, and again they've given up a free kick. So just to continue the thought, they had a number of players, and they formed the Oklahoma City Flyers. After 2 seasons, they reformed initially as the Oklahoma Football Club, then as the Oklahoma Okies, and now they're the Oklahoma Buffaloes, and there's another goal. 11th goal for Minnesota. And this game could not end soon enough for the Lone Stars combination. They go on to 11-10-76. The margin is 69 points. Nice. And we're back in the middle. Nashville got off to a 3-1 start and then picked up a couple of wins in their Ashes tournament. But we're not talking about Nashville, we're talking about Houston. Houston winning as that gets knocked down. Brent Mergen once again. Houston hosting the Ruggles Cup earlier in Houston, and that one is sent down the line, and there is Weaver as that one got out of the range of a sliding Jack Stimson. 1-on-1 contest, ball goes in the middle, and here comes a chance for Houston to get something, and that one slides past the stick for a point. They go on the 1-2-8, and that makes the margin 68 points, 11-10-76. CJ Adams, who is playing literally everywhere, now takes it out of the back line and sends that one down. Mark taken by Mergen. Brent Mergen, who like Andrew Werner spent time in Western Australia. He's a farmer who lives up in suburban Minnesota. And the ball goes, not suburban, but country Minnesota. And the ball goes out of bounds. Mergo has worn the red, white, and blue of the USA Revolution on numerous occasions. The ball comes back in the play once again. That one is sent forward. Drops in front and bounces away. And trying to cycle to the inside there, the Stimson. Stimson sends that one in, but it's blocked in front. Handball back the other way ahead of Weaver. And then they're just trying to get it away. And finally Adams, who has a deceptively big boot. 2 bites of the cherry and it's marked. And it's marked by Houston. No, seriously, that's his name, Sheldon Houston. So Houston is going to go back. And he will send this one from probably 40 meters out into what has now become a crosswind. Ball gets not marked, it goes to ground and goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Right in front of that bridge that spans across the reeds. Cannot be much time left. And as we said, for Houston, the end of this game cannot come soon enough. They'll get to regroup and get ready to see who they will play. As the ball gets nurdled through for another behind, they go to 1-3-9 does Houston. They didn't add that other behind. It is 1-3-9. It looks like they've at an 11-10-76 the score. So it's back to 67 points. So Houston 1-1 will wait. If Minnesota defeats St. Louis, then they'll play on the third place game against whoever finishes as the runner-up over in Pool A. That one goes across and kicked off. Sent forward. Ball goes to ground. Picked up by the Freeze. Steadies himself. That one was deflected in the air. Goes into the pocket. Bounces away. Picked up nicely on the second bite of the cherry there by Chris Williams. And great to see Chris play. His dad was the longtime coach. Diesel was the longtime coach, a longtime coach of the Freedom, as well as for the Minnesota Freeze women's team, and that'll do it. Full time, and this one, well, was all Minnesota. Houston got a couple of points in garbage time, but the Minnesota Freeze are 1-0. Houston finishes the group play at 1-1, and we'll see them later, maybe in the third place game, possibly in the fifth place game. We'll have to see. But the final score is the Minnesota Freeze, 11 goals, 10-76. The Houston Lonestars 1-3-9. Has been another game here at the 2022 USAFL Central Regionals here in Blaine, Minnesota. Check out more action on our YouTube site at usafl.com and on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at USAFL1997. For Tyrell, our cameraman, I'm Brian Barish saying so long for now.